Segment 1. Why China fall in love with Malaysia? Why is China pouring billions into Malaysia? Why is Xi Jinping personally praising the Malaysian Prime Minister, while other countries face trade threats and tariffs? Malaysia isn't just another Southeast Asian country to China. It's a trusted ally, a gateway to the region, and a critical player in Beijing's global strategy. But here's the twist. It's not just about trade or infrastructure. The real reason China loves Malaysia might just surprise you. This isn't your average economic partnership. This is something deeper, something strategic, and the whole world should be paying attention. Segment 2. Historical context. How it all began. In 1974, Malaysia made a bold move by becoming the first ASEAN nation to establish diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China. This decision, during the height of the Cold War, set the stage for a unique and enduring partnership. Over the years, this relationship has flourished. China has been Malaysia's largest trading partner for 16 consecutive years, with bilateral trade reaching a record high of $212.04 billion in 2024, marking an 11.4% year-on-year increase. This deep-rooted connection is not just about economics. It's a testament to decades of mutual respect, strategic alignment, and shared aspirations. Segment 3. Economic synergy, the power of trade and investment. Today, the economic relationship between China and Malaysia is nothing short of massive. China isn't just Malaysia's largest trading partner, it's also one of its biggest investors. In 2024 alone, bilateral trade hit over $212 billion, and Chinese direct investments reached new highs in manufacturing, infrastructure, and green energy. But this isn't just about raw numbers. Malaysia is critical to China's supply chain. Chinese firms are setting up shop in Penang, Johor, and Selangor, not just to tap into local markets, but to build regional manufacturing bases that help them dodge tariffs and expand exports across ASEAN. From palm oil and electronics to semiconductors and solar panels, Malaysia supplies, China buys. And in return, Chinese capital keeps pouring into Malaysia's economy, funding new ports, highways, and industrial corridors. And it's not slowing down. China's digital Silk Road also runs through Malaysia, with tech partnerships in AI, telecommunications, and fintech now expanding at full speed. This isn't just trade, it's interdependence. Segment 4. Strategic infrastructure, building China's bridge to ASEAN. When China envisions its Belt and Road Initiative, Malaysia is front and center. One of the flagship projects? The East Coast Rail Link, or ECRL. Stretching over 600 kilometers, this mega railway connects Malaysia's rural east to its industrial west, directly linking key ports to China's broader trade network. And then there's the Malacca Gateway, a massive port and maritime hub strategically positioned on the Strait of Malacca, one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. It's not just a port, it's a geopolitical chess piece. In Kuantan, another Chinese-backed port, gives Beijing a deeper presence on the South China Sea's edge, just across from Hainan Island. These aren't isolated projects. Together they form a trade corridor that allows China to move goods faster, bypass choke points, and hedge against geopolitical threats elsewhere, especially in Taiwan or the South China Sea. And what's in it for Malaysia? Jobs, infrastructure, global relevance, and access to billions in funding at a time when many Western nations are pulling back. China is not just investing in steel and concrete, it's building loyalty in bricks, rail lines, and deepwater ports. Segment 5. Geopolitical alignment, why Malaysia matters to China. In April 2025, Chinese President Xi Jinping embarked on a significant state visit to Malaysia, underscoring the deepening ties between the two nations. During this visit, Xi and Malaysian leaders signed over 30 cooperation agreements spanning various sectors, including artificial intelligence, digital economy, and infrastructure development. Malaysia's strategic location along the Strait of Malacca, one of the world's busiest shipping lanes, makes it a pivotal partner in China's Belt and Road Initiative. Projects like the East Coast Rail Link, ECRL, are not just infrastructure endeavors, but strategic investments that enhance regional connectivity and trade. Beyond economics, the two countries have emphasized the importance of maintaining peace and stability in the South China Sea. In a joint statement, they reaffirmed their commitment to peacefully resolving disputes and upholding international law. As global trade dynamics shift, China's engagement with Malaysia reflects a broader strategy to strengthen regional alliances and promote multilateral cooperation. This partnership is not only about mutual economic benefits, but also about shaping a stable and inclusive regional order. Segment 6. Diplomatic Balancing Act, Navigating Complex Relationships. On April 9, 2025, the US imposed a 24% reciprocal tariff on Malaysian imports, targeting a range of products including electronics, palm oil, and machinery. While certain sectors like semiconductors have been exempted, the broader impact on Malaysia's export-driven economy is significant. In response, Malaysia has opted for diplomacy over retaliation. The government has announced that its trade and finance ministers will head to the US at the end of April to engage in discussions aimed at resolving the tariff issue. This approach aligns with ASEAN's collective strategy to address trade challenges through dialogue and cooperation. Meanwhile, China's President Xi Jinping's recent visit to Malaysia underscores the deepening ties between the two nations. During the visit, both countries signed over 30 cooperation agreements, covering areas such as artificial intelligence, digital economy, and infrastructure development. Malaysia's ability to navigate these complex relationships, balancing economic interests with both superpowers, demonstrates its strategic diplomacy in an increasingly polarized global landscape. Segment 7. Cultural and educational exchanges, strengthening people-to-people ties. While trade and infrastructure often dominate the headlines, what really binds China and Malaysia is something deeper: people. Educational and cultural exchange between the two nations has flourished over the years. Thousands of Malaysian students have studied in Chinese universities, and many Chinese students now pursue degrees in Malaysia. Confucius Institutes across Malaysia promote language learning and cross-cultural understanding, while joint research centers are driving breakthroughs in tech and innovation. Tourism too plays a key role. Before the pandemic, Chinese tourists were Malaysia's largest source of international visitors, and now, with borders open again, that number is surging back. Visa-free travel between China and Malaysia, as announced in late 2023, only accelerates this momentum, allowing easier movement and deeper ties between the two peoples. This isn't just about soft power, it's about building trust. And it's one more reason why China sees Malaysia not just as a partner, but as a long-term friend. Segment 8. The future of the China-Malaysia bond. So, why does China love Malaysia? It's not just because of geography, not just because of trade. It's because Malaysia plays the game few others can, balancing global giants without getting crushed. But as the world becomes more divided, even Malaysia won't stay untouched. The pressure is mounting, the choices are getting harder, and the next few years could define whether Malaysia stays a trusted bridge or gets caught in the storm. And speaking of global storms, Trump's tariffs are already reshaping the global economy, pushing countries like Malaysia, Vietnam, and even Canada to their limits. If you want to understand what's driving this global power shift, watch our video, Why Trump Loves Tariffs and What It Means for the World. It's the missing piece to this story.